Nobody probably knows who Bowsher is, but if you wanna look it up because Mike's got to go to the bathroom and I'm gonna be put on the spot to tell a story, which I'm totally down for. Bowsher is Jim Bowsher of Wapakoneta.
Tell me the story,
Jim
Mike.
Bowsher has a temple in his backyard called the Temple of Tolerance. Kyle just went over there the other day with us and checked it out.
It was crazy.
But yeah, Jim is a collector of stories uh, since I think the age of like 12 or 13. The guy's basically been, self-made historian. But so after a while of being a self-made historian and talker and collector, he would get people that would just show up at his house and start telling him stories. And if Jim ever sees this, hopefully I get the story correct. But basically, he gets a knock on his door one day, and at the door is a police officer. And Jim's like, "Oh gosh, what did I do something?" And the police officer's like, "No, no." He's like, I heard about you, and I figured I would just come down and talk to you in person and tell you my story." And Jim's like, "Okay, go ahead." And I'm saying this rather calmly. Jim's a pretty animated guy. He was probably fairly excited and interested at the time. And basically, what the cop says is, "Okay, I'm a cop up at Bowling Green University in Northern Ohio, and doing his patrol, doing his beat. They had certain areas they would go check and drive down, and there was one that was a lover's lane. College kids going out, relaxing on a Friday, Saturday night, taking out the convertible." And so this cop's driving out there, and there's no cars out there. And I think that was one of the things that Jim said the officer had said in retrospect was weird, because generally there was something going on out there, somebody parked out there. And so this particular night he goes out and there's no one out there. But there's just kind of something odd or off about the whole night. So the cop parks his car and he gets out. He's just kind of standing there, and he said, "That's when I heard the noise over me." And he looked up, and above him was a UFO. And he said it, turned on a light, that or a series of lights, I'm not real sure, but bright enough that he couldn't look at it. So he shields his eyes from it, and he's looking down, and it's like, the encounter's over and it's gone. And so he's left sitting there thinking, what just happened? Was that, did I just make that up in my head? Did I just, am I tired? Was that real? And so he gets in his car and he drives back to his station, and he notices when he gets back that what had been maybe a half hour, should have been a half hour at most, turned into 3 hours of time, where he lost, a good chunk of time for no good reason. And so he's telling Jim all this, and he also tells him, "Yeah, and I noticed on the back of my car where I had been standing, the taillights had melted out." So he had driven that car down and shown it to Jim and just kind of had a little bit of provenance of his story. But that's kind of what Jim has done over his life, is collect countless stories that uh, I give little justice to. He's a much better storyteller than I am, and he's just a fantastic guy.